Hello and welcome to another YuGiOh video, and today we are taking a look at the Cyber Dragon Orcust deck profile, including some very cool Mekk Knights on top of that. So I'm really excited to be bringing you guys this deck. It's actually the first deck that I built using the YuGiOh Neuron app as my primary deck building tool. So definitely check that out. There's going to be a full review on the channel for that as well if it's not already up. There's also a really cool set of a couple of combos to go with this deck, and one of those is really crazy. It ends on like an awesome board with Appaloosa, IP, Lib, Overflow. You've got your Babel set up, you've got your Graveyard set up, so it's all really good. Definitely check that out. There'll be a link for that as a card if there isn't one already. Then it'll be coming up very soon. And without further ado, let's take you guys through the Cyber Dragon Orcust deck profile. I'm really excited about this one. So let's just refocus the camera. I'm on a new camera here, so I'm going to try and make sure everything's in focus for you guys. So we kick things off with triple Cyber Dragon, and of course you gotta go with the mismatched rarities. So we've got the one CRV Super, the one BLRR Ultra, and then the one SDCR Common. Make sure your opponent knows how many copies of Cyber Dragon you're playing. One day I'll upgrade to the ultis, but just don't have them right now. Great going second, part of your combo when you go first. You don't want to draw it because of how the combo works with the machine dupe, so you want them in deck. So having the three is kind of a necessity with this particular build, but because of how the extra deck is structured, that's also really good when you go second. Anyway, then we play 3 copies of Cyber Dragon Core. This is like one of your key starter cards. It enables all of your combos, and you can search it off some of the other cards in the deck. And then we play 2 Natchster, which can be used for a couple of the combos. It's in the combo video as well. And then there's also Hertz. So I'm playing 3-2-1. I think this is probably the right ratio for this deck. I think I need to do a little bit more testing, but Cyber Dragon Orcust has changed quite a lot since the previous days. So for its current state, I think this ratio has been working out really well so far in what testing I have done. I might change it up in the future, but let me know in the comments if you guys think that there is a more optimal ratio. Basically, I don't want to play too many normal summons, and this ratio has worked out really well so far. So now we get into the Mekk Knights, and so we've got 3 Girsu, which is both an Orcust and a Mekk Knight, so really up to you how you want to interpret that one. Then 2 purple and 1 blue. I'm debating bumping blue up to 2, but as it stands, I can't find the space for it in this deck. And purple is just a slightly better starter to have because it plays around more hand traps than the blue itself. So I think I like this ratio a little bit more, and that's where we are with the Mekk Knight engine. And then for all of the Orcust, like bricks that you have to play, so 2 Nightmare, 2 Skeleton, and 1 World Wand, and then the 1 Gizmek, sorry. So there's a time when I was playing 3 Nightmare alongside 3 Natchster, which is a great combination because they're both like together they give you an actual play, which is quite cool, but the play that you get off them isn't that strong anyway. So it made more sense to cut that Nightmare when I cut the Natchster down to 2, and these ratios have been working out really well. For this particular deck, you're not playing a very high Orcust count, so I don't think you need to play the Bombard, and I'm just like, I really hate Bombard as a card. I don't think it's ever necessary, and you play extra deck stuff that allows you to play without Bombard anyway. So I don't think I'm going to be playing Bombard for a long time, to be honest. So here's the most interesting numbering that is probably going to throw a lot of you guys off. We play 1 Scrap Recycler. So Scrap Recycler for this deck is not actually, well, okay, so it is a starter card, but it's not an ideal starter card. It's actually intended to be searched during the combo, which you'll see in the video, off the effect of Infinitrack Riverstormer, because you want to be going into your plays via your Cyber Dragons. So although it can be a starter card, there are so many normal summons in this deck that you do not want to max out on them. It's much more important to have cards like Girsu, which even though they are a normal summon starter, are actually applicable through hand traps. And the great thing about Recycler is it's part of the combos anyway, so you can just play the one and you'll be absolutely fine. If you do see it, you can just play the Scrap Recycler combo, assuming the rest of your hand is okay. And if you don't see it, then you get to play your normal combo, search up the Riverstormer, and you'll be absolutely fine. So then alongside this is the 1 Scrap Golem for the absurd combos, and also 1 O-Lion also for the absurd combos. These are like, as I said, I think this is the correct ratio for this particular build. Maybe there are some changes, maybe there are some ways to accommodate some extra space. but because Scrap Recycler doesn't get you into an extending position, I think it's better to play the one for this particular build. Give it a go, let me know what you think, and I'm sure I'll be seeing a lot of comments from you guys down below, so just let me know your opinions. Alright, so for the combos, obviously Machine Duplication is totally busted in this deck. Normal summon your core, turn it into 3 Cyber Dragon monsters, and then you can play your entire wombo combo of the Orcust board. It's really crazy, I absolutely love it. And you punish your opponent for not playing Nibiru early, because you can just go into your Cyber Dragon Nova, and you can punish your opponent for playing the Nibiru late, because you'll already have an Apollo, or at least you'll have your graveyard set up. So I really like the way this deck functions with the Machine Duplications in there as well. And then for the other spells, we've got the 1 Babel, 1 Succession for the combos, 1 Foolish, 1 Reasoning, and 1 Minced Reborn. So these 4 are like extenders slash combo pieces. So this is a combo piece which is also an extender, and then these 3 are all just basic like normal extenders. And then there's the 1 placeholder, which is the Upstart Goblin. And the last 2 spell cards that I have are Rev System and Repair Plants. Now there are actually a couple of slots that do need to be filled in this deck, which would be Cyber Emergency, but I don't have those cards at the moment. So I'm pretty sure it's just the 2 Cyber Emergency that you'd need to add into this lineup. Apologies that I don't have them with me at the moment, but I'm going to be getting those down the line, and I really wanted to bring you guys this deck profile as soon as possible so that I can show you guys the combos and you can start testing it out. And I'm going to be trying this online and seeing how good it is, and I really enjoy this deck, so definitely worth playing those 2 Cyber Emergency alongside the rest of your deck. So that's it for the spell lineup, and the final 2 cards in the deck are Cybernetic Overflow and Orcust Crescendo. So 1 trap for each archetype in the deck. Overflow is super searchable off the core, and Crescendo is super searchable off your Galatea. You'll note there are no hand traps in this deck. There just wasn't the space for it. When I was putting everything together, I was really struggling to find space. As you can tell, I keep mentioning it, but you have so many cards which are important for the combos, like all the Cyber Dragon cards, and you have so many cards which are important for the Orca side of things, that there's just not room in this build to play hand traps. Unless you start cutting things like the extenders, and I think it's way more important. I think you'll have a lot more fun if you play extenders, because it means that at least you'll be doing something, whereas the like hand traps you can play in any deck whatsoever. If you want to enjoy Cyber Dragon Orcust, I think the best way is to play the more extenders and then play all of the engine requirements, and you can do all the combos that you want to do. So that's the main thing, the main appeal for me for this deck anyway. Onto the extra deck, and I've got to tell you, the Orcust lineup is pretty small. It's just 1 copy of Girsu and 1 copy of Galatea. We don't even play long Girsu in this build. You don't even need it. If you have a look at some of the builds that have been played in the OCG, sure, if you want to trust OCG theory, you'll see they have to play the 1 Galatea, but a lot of them play 1 or 2 Girsu, and I think this lineup for this deck, absolutely fine. You're going to blow out your opponent in the first turn anyway, and if you don't blow them out through your Orcust engine, you'll be able to recur these guys off your graveyard effects, and if that's not enough, you've got all of your giant Cyber Dragon package as well. So let's start taking you guys through that. So for the Xyz monsters, we have 1 Cyber Dragon Nova, 1 Cyber Dragon Infinity, and 1 Infinitrack Riverstorm, which, as I mentioned, is really important for the combos. It's how you add your Scrap Recycler and get your plays going, and this card just punishes people so hard, it's great. And then the 1 fusion is the Chimera Tech Mega Fleet Dragon. Now, the extra deck is liable to change if we see Dogmatica becoming a really big presence and people playing Maximus. However, Maximus is already known to be problematic because people know that you should, if your opponent is playing Maximus, play Nova and Macabre alongside it. And you should also play Entus or Nets in order to get that additional pop. So what I think is going to happen is we'll have 1 or 2 weeks when Dragma or Dogmatica with the Maximus is going to be really important. And then I think after that it will just disappear. I don't think people will play it at all because you get punished so hard for trying to resolve that effect. And worst case scenario in this deck, you already play the Nova, so you just side the Nets and you just side the Macabre. You'll be absolutely fine, but if you need to, you can put those into the extra deck. As it is, this is where we are. So on to the remaining extra deck monsters, and they are all link monsters. So we have one Almirage, which is important for some of the combos. Let's just bring you guys a little bit closer for that one. Then one Linkuriboh, which we need for the normal summon Girsu combos. IP Masquerader is important for like every combo that you'll do with this deck ever. Platinum Gadget, Scrap Wyvern, Lib, all really key for the Wombo combo aspect of this deck. And then the big boss monsters, we have one Topologic Ceroboros, one Access Code Talker, and one Appaloosa. As I mentioned in some previous videos, don't have access to these guys just at the moment, waiting on the reprint for this one, and need to sell some stuff before I can pick up my own Access Code Talker. But this is the structure of the deck. Let me know what you guys think, check out the combo video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.